All right, Knights of Dragaria, welcome back to Brigandine, the Legend of Runersia. I'm your host, veracitytrigger, and we're going to go ahead and cover Brigandine today. This guy's pretty cool. His armor is awesome. I love the scar on the side of his face. He just looks like he's ready for battle. He looks like he's ready to do somebody in. So let's see what he's all about.
And as usual, stay triggered. Pew pew, pew.
Hey, Brigandine is a male, age 50, Dark Knight. That's what I turned him into. You can do Paladin if you want, or anything else, but Dark Knight seems to kind of fit his role. He is a candidate for the rank of General in the Norzalio Kingdom. He has earned the trust of the royal family and acts as their bodyguard when Grados is unavailable. This battle-hardened knight has seen many a war and bloodshed since the reign of King Rubino II, and specializes in defensive warfare. He was once tasked with defending a base on the border against a Gustavian invasion and did so for 10 seasons, leaving behind an indelible legend. When not needed on the battlefield, he works as a military instructor and has trained many outstanding elite soldiers. So, essentially, he's seen as a pretty decent knight. Now, as far as stats are concerned, I'd have to say that some are good and some are interesting. He's essentially a project knight. We got a 3 seer or 3D seer from my perspective. His HP is okay. His defense is alright, especially with this. Intelligence of 90, I'd have to probably give it a little bit of a check there, a little bit of a plus. And agility of 72 for a knight isn't bad either. So what you get is heavy sword, heavy armor, heavy helmet, and ring. You can use those. You can add extra equipment to make yourself stronger. Shield block of A has a 20% chance of blocking with a shield. Now, just like the other video I did of the other Dark Knight and the few other Dark Knights, it's all pretty much the same. 20% chance versus 25% chance is Paladin. Still 20% chance, it's pretty good. I hardly ever notice a difference of 5%. But it does reduce the damage down to half. So let's say a massive dragon hits you and you shield block it. You're only taking half the damage. You get a hit point recovery of B, which is 3% of the max HP of what he has. So 3% of that, well, 10% of 658 would be 65, and then 3% of that would be a third of 65. So that'd be, what, 22? About 22. So you get a small amount of MP back every turn. It's not that much. Like, it really works better for knights that have a lot of HP, and he doesn't have that much. So, he's going to be good, but he's not going to be as good as some other knights are, on a battlefield. So you will get back some MP. You can do heals. There is a heal for him that he can use. You do have an intelligence of 90, so he could heal himself very well and do very well there. You get some other skills here. Dark Slash does a major damage to an enemy unit. 140 power. It's pretty good. Terror Impact. This is a pre-move, so you have to stand there for a turn, and then you can do this particular attack. Deals massive damage to a single adjacent enemy unit. Has low accuracy, so it's minus 29 accuracy here, much like the Power Stroke that you get from the fighters from long ago. It's sort of the same thing with the Dark Knight class, so make sure you chain the enemy in to be able to complete this move. Otherwise, you're probably going to miss. It's probably going to give you something like 40, 50, 60% accuracy on most monsters or leaders. Some really evasive leaders, you might not get any accuracy at all. So make sure you chain them in by putting another monster around, or put a Halo spell on him. Now, Dark Storm is pretty much the Dark Knight's special skill here. I did mention this before. This does major damage to all units within a 1 hex radius and increases your attack and defense for a limited number of turns and never misses. So this will crank you up attack-wise and defense-wise. So everything else you do after that, you're just going ham for the next 2 turns. And you can pretty much go full defense. And so even though you have like Protect on, which Iron Ore is also Protect, just for you, you're going to heal up a little bit, and you're going to take very little damage. So the heals that you get, the trickle heals, are going to feel like a giant splash of water once you have this on. So I would recommend, especially since MP isn't that good, he's only level 23. We could maybe get up to 200 MP and then maybe pull this off twice. But I'd have to say that you want to use this as you can. And if you can't, do a heal or do an iron aura. Just to supplement your life, because yeah, you could take it, but just to be careful, you're a frontline fighter with this. But I have to say, this is pretty much your bread and butter as far as it's concerned. And yes, it's not as powerful as this thing here, but this thing's free. This is not free. This is 100 MP, and you need to kind of have that 100 MP to do it. Plus, there's three purple orbs here for that. So another thing you can do too, if the enemy's far away and you need to do some damage on them from a 2-space hex radius away from you, you can pop a curse, drop a curse on them, and do some damage. It does cost 108 MP, so it will absorb half your MP. If you're higher, still half your MP. And then all you're really going to have left is either the MP for Iron Aura or for a heal. And that's really all you're going to have. So what I like to do with Dark Knights, especially Dark Knights, I like to really frontline them, but I like to put them on the flank, because then they can kind of get around into the back line of the enemy and move forward. Paladins just right in the front, but Dark Knights to go around the side, do this Dark Storm attack, and then just overflank them. Just come around from behind and have Protect on, have Attack up, and go to town. And if I need to heal, I got to heal. So I think Brendan is a pretty good pseudo Project Knight, you know, that you can use. But just remember, he's going to be a Project Knight, so you have to be very careful with him, because he's not, you know, he doesn't have the greatest stats right now. A 3D Seer is not one of the best knights out there, but he does work well when you're fighting with him, and I usually do have some confidence in this guy. So he hasn't really let me down too much. Let me know what he does for you in a battlefield. Other than that, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, definitely subscribe, and I don't know, share this with your friends. Let them know about this guy. Okay, have a good one, and stay triggered, my friends.